D'Angelo Dia, but I just go by Dia. I come from a military family, which is the reason for using Dia. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Thank you to the team behind Creative Mornings. Thank you to Citizen Vinyl for hosting us this morning. I'm going to give a disclaimer. I'm a Baptist pastor. I'm going to take my time unpeeling this orange this morning. I'm serious. I'm going to take my time. No, but I'm delighted to perform and present to you with these two individuals that I admire and love as beings. Coming to the mic, the first individual, Gina Cornejo.
Hi, Creative Mornings. We were just talking earlier of I was like, how can I help you? How can I lead you in, to the next people, the next moment, and the next feeling? And Xavia said it beautifully of they're gonna go on a ride anyway. So just do it. So strap in, buckle up, I don't know, whatever you got. My name is Gina Cornejo. I'll be doing two pieces for you today. The first piece is called Que Lástima. Que lástima. What a shame. Todos repitan, por favor. Que lástima.
Que lástima.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Que lástima.
Que lástima.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Que lástima.
Que lástima.
What a shame.
What a shame.
It is that when twilight hits the lights, my chin points up to the violet violence descending. As an evening ink bleeds out the false safety of what softer hues tend to provide. Shallow breath as I wait to witness the flutter of fluorescence from street lamps that lull my pulse. A temporary ease of an exhale. As I rapid fire mock up a disdainful email to my local councils that light is essential. That light keeps him at an arm's length. That light gives me a fighting chance. That light is why my mother is able to continue to peacefully sleep. That light is what allows this little Latina face to remain off of your CNN feed. That light is how I manage not to become a trending meme. That light is when carefree isn't mistaken as careless, reckless. And that light is who I trust will usher me into another tomorrow, and not a courtroom battle where non-believers might silence me and sentence me and shuttle me away in social media shame to be concealed, to be canceled. And that light is my everything. That light that summons each member of familia to each silla en la mesa para cenar that night, to have a somber chat over bistecitos y arroz con frijoles and muster out warnings like you girls know what to do when the street lamps come on, right? You come home. You come home. And then one by one, the street lamps flick on, and they go, oh, wow, isn't that nice? Que lástima. What a shame. Que lástima. What a shame. Que lástima. What a shame. You said it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. This next piece is called Candidates and Culprits. Come on and sit down, down, down at the table. Come on and sit down, down, down at my table. There's enough honey to go around, but first you gotta be bold and sit down, down, down at the table. Come on and sit down, down, down at my table. We've been waiting for you. She says, this is a new age revolution for new age revolutionaries. Asking her palms, circling her temples, manifesting, deeply craving at least one selfless, lawless, unbound witness to this new age agenda throne. She cries out, it's a new age revolution for new age revolutionaries. Still asking, insisting, requiring answers of how we will succeed. To what extent will you believe? She chants, success by any means necessary, success by any means necessary, success by any means necessary. You are a new age revolutionary. Breathe it in. She instructs us to breathe it in. Come on. Breathe it in. New revelations for this new age. New addictions are going to be priced at a new wage. New speeches must be written, she says, yes, and they must be taught. New temples must be praised. So rise up, artists. Rise up, candidates. Rise up, all spirits in the room who are lusting, thrusting for a new revolutionary to construct them a proper tomb. I see you. I hear you. I witness your pain, our wails of pain. Boom! Clenched fists in untidy fury, rightfully so. Grit embedded between seething teeth, crowds of humans, archaic systems that allude to and acknowledge in an evenly paced script. So condescending and definitely arrogant that the delicate abrasions on the surface they see are easily healed and simply resolved. Yet these wounds have a depth no one has reached. Oh, it's such a fineness, a finesse, right? Of this ageless, seemingly timeless culprit. One that believes poised silence isn't nefarious. We are worlds apart. Come on and sit down, down, down at the table. Come on and sit down, down, down at my table. There's enough honey to go around, but first you gotta be bold and sit down, down, down at the table. Come on and sit down, down, down at my table. This new age agenda needs you, seeks you, beckons you. This new age agenda needs me, seeks me, and beckons me. This new age agenda needs us, seeks us, and beckons us to witness and reshape, to listen and educate, to humble to reinforce, to rattle the bars of these cages, to kneel, to take action, because to continue to perceive and achieve a future is essential rebellion. And grit, fine grit, glows to add a glamour to the crowns of the people. And damn, royalty looks good on me. It looks good on you too. So, rise up, artists. Rise up, candidates, and take your throne. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! Next up to the mic, we've got Xavier coming for you. Here you go. Thank you, folks. Get it.
I'm so honored to come off the heels of such a powerful performance. Thank you, Gina. Good morning, Creative Mornings. How are you all? Good. It's so good to be here. So good to see you all. So I have a few short poems vacillating between corruption and responses to corruption. So walk with me. All right. The first poem is called Genesis Part 2. In those days, we walked with God, half a step between glitz and fear. Sermons in the magnolias, absinthe green plastics lit our way to a world we dreamed. Lucrative opportunities, untapped markets, every whim satisfied. An organic, locally sourced, cruelty-free, inclusive campaign where the body be bread, and when it is husk, fuel for the God we trust. The next piece is called Recipes de la Résistance. Peace and harmony. Echoes of the morning and mad make streets cassava. That reckless kind of hope bursts between every tongue bud and every bruise like Scotch bonnet. We do not remove seeds. We become pepper and shut eyes. We scream. We love. We make a revolution to burn cheek and belly. Pray this beast belly bust. May this beast belly bust. Y'all can be as engaged as you'd like to be. No, not even for the claps, but I come from a charismatic tradition. So if you hear something you like, say that. That's cool. If you don't want to do that, it's cool too. If you hear things you don't like, also fine. But you can tell me that, but be sweet, because I'm... The next poem is called For Those That Remain. Once held by ancestors and gods, bodies folded together like the pages of loved books, kiss-sealed greetings and lingering departures have not warmed us for at least a gnat's eon. 40 years to the trees. Bread and earth take 30 seconds to bake, and memories disappear in the same. Currency of the realm. Shit is gold. Gold is gold. Oil is gold because it is fuel. Water is life, when scarce, gold. But parts of us remain. Cicely Tyson, Twinkies, love, bullets, roaches, and fire. We've always had fire. So I wrote this during the pandemic, and Cicely Tyson, RIP, died during the pandemic. So this is an aside. Amendment, peace, light, and progress to the spirit of our beloved Mama Cicely. So for this next piece, it's a little bit more meta. So I can explain the title, or I cannot, and that is your choice. Oh, wow, I'm saying, oh, I need a vote. Are we explaining the title, or are we just going? Explain? All right. So it's called Grey Dinner Party. So in Greek mythology, the Grays sisters, these three sisters that hold one eye, Hercules tried to do some weird fusion of them and some other deity, but this is my response to what their role may be in life. Gray dinner party. Each tile shard, feather and bowed, ticks, crack. Rugged diced flesh careened from her filleting hand. Splat. 43 hunger-pierced eyes. One was mine and my sister's. The rest belonged to the mice. We have slept betwixt and between the cream-colored dream you've made for your beloveds, and you are oh so afraid to fall. But it's only a trip. Wouldn't you like to join us? You will not beg for bread. You will breathe. You will assemble. You will birth. There are no sugar crumbs to follow to a mansion so hollow we'd never peddle traps. You have waited and prayed, and think we have waited and prayed, while skin thickened and time thinned like traipsing on black ice. Tick, crack, splat, mice, trip, trap, black, ice. But will you live? And my last piece is another response to corruption. It's about how I've been trying to maintain sweetness in the midst of it. And it's called Since We Last Spoke. Disclaimer, the person in front of you is an experienced mischief seeker. Attempt at your own risk. Number 1, called my vice by its name, sensation. Number 2, with 4% phone battery, 3 lefts on unmarked roads, 2 rights where the wind was quiet, left 1 sufficiently lost and wandering creature. Number 3, made my body an altar. Number 4, asked children their superpower. Number 5, made a bed in the wounds of a lover. I overstayed and left a salt bath behind. 6, befriended a tree. 7, ate something that frightened, repulsed, and compelled me, like red clay or anything with raisins. 8, asked birds and strangers to share their beauty secrets. 9, reintroduced myself to home, clicking my combat boots 3 times before paying my Greyhound fare. The smoke meat not meth sign still overlooks the butchers. My mother still watches over the town's soul. 10, embraced a chill for warmth. Sometimes this means home too. 11, smacked loudly with closed eyes on buttered bread to evenly distribute cream and crunch to all parts of my mouth. 12, climbed up a great Graham branch in 2-inch junk-glittered acrylic talons. I'd never danced midair, but I have fallen, and a new word for terror and elation struck before I landed. Whether these be offerings to satiate the lust of a trickster, humor a god, entertain the stars, stories whistled from my porch when I am old, may the places I am porous and wandering be evidence of life. Amen. Thank y'all, thank y'all. Ooh, I'm shy. And thank y'all, thank you. And next on the stage, we have Mr. Camo himself, preacher man, Dia. Yes.
I can't lie. I wasn't ready for another young black man to enter the gates of young black man heaven by way of profile projectiles popping off like it was natural, perhaps even traditional. I was still stuck on little Bobby Hutton, Fred, and Mark, and all the conspiracy theories for Medgar, Malcolm, and Martin. I was still stuck in turnpipes where bullets blazed through afros and black power subliminal threats, but there were no berets, bomb threats, or Berettas, just young, black, and unarmed. I can't help but picture individuals all grinning at the continual onslaught of black skin, but more so the thought that I had, that we'd gotten somewhere. You see, the more things change, the more they simply stay the same. Catch 22s, catch 44s, catch 45s, catching hell like always, walking to the store, reaching for your passport, playing with your kids, sleeping in your bed, worshiping at your church. But this ain't Syria, and this ain't Damascus, y'all. It's down south, up north, or out west, and we're still arguing about our humanity in the midst of every political administration. And I'm stuck wondering, was the Obama era just another experiment like Jack Johnson in Germany testing the endurance of a Negro? They say race doesn't matter anymore. And while I'm digging the class struggle, I'm counting too many black brothers under white covers with white chalk lines, singing song lines like what's going on. We know damn well what it is. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to admit it, hopefully before another brother or sister hits the pavement. Shattered dreams, corruption, 1 of 5. I've been charged with high treason for trying to haiku my way to freedom. Yes, my haikus are lyrically revolutionary, undiluted by capitalist evil, which I stand to destroy by citing in verse socialist words like equal, fair, freedom. I stand arraigned by deranged men with no consciousness, so I Tanaka my way to say this: I resist you. It's all about the people. This statement's a haiku too, to show you that I will never bow to you. So I gladly plead guilty to these charges, because liberation by death is preferable to life of oppression. 2. And so through the familiar tears, I find my fingers dive in submarine links through those deep charged drops to the cruel irony that has trapped yet freed me for so very long. The pen that has encased my flesh, 5 senses dreams, mangled in the barbed wire, blocked by the plexiglass and bouncing off the twisted lips of belligerents, belittling my humanity. And yet still I reach for the noose tied around my neck to turn it into a lifeline. No Bics or pretty inks, only speckled and spotted words trekking across paper bags and scraps, anything within reach that will retain my thoughts that have been scanned or censored by the powers that be. Fresh and uncut, I weave every thought, insignificant or not, into some form of sense, because my imagination had already been filled with scenes of cutthroats, jerking bodies, wailing families, an unnatural line of death, and without a doubt others have gone through just as much pain as I. Bones crushed under tanks, hunger-ravaged stomach, disease-ridden body. So I find that my curse is actually a blessing, and the systemic genocide I face binds me. Thus, because of my existence, I owe more than I think, and the way I once thought is now minute compared to what I now know. To know that I have a calling is scary, to say the least. So as the blood sheds of black martyrs spills through my mind and floods any thought of resistance, I do realize that a revolutionary's future is surely death. And so that cliff that I fought not to get pushed over, I now willingly jump over with rage. Because it's a job that needs to be done. None did it, but anyone could have, so I. Someone choose to do it. Though I be buried under steel, I still possess the same power as anyone capable of changing the world, for good or for bad. That choice is ultimately mine. A divine mind in the midst of the pen, I find the wretched of the earth, worthy, yet outwardly looking chaotic, yet inside remaining at peace. The tears remind me that I'm still in love with freedom, because you can recognize lovers of freedom by their scars. And the fact that I won't stop reminds me that I am in love with the fact that we do have the ability to transcend all things, obstacles, barriers, atrocities. And so when the pen, I remain shadowboxing with these walls and lines that try to contain me for better or for worse, in this compound of purpose and paradox. And I realize this is the one thing that I can never escape from, no matter where I go, because it has defined me as Catlet has done to stone. And I stand in all my flaws and glory as this creation, this simple yet complex thing. 3. Let's not mistake the fact that the claws of oppression stretch far and content wide, unbiased in its approach to oppression. Let's not mistake the reality that just because words like fatu does not adorn the gray uniform here, that the concept of corral and contain the spirit of life thumps in the discharged M16 shell bodies raging off with discontent does not exist. It is an everyday atrocity exercised by the powers that be. Mirror, image, imperialism, executed on gurney beds, steel bunks, quick killings, stretched out life sentences, blood-soaked West Bank slaughter. But we are merely the sons and daughters aborted from this Babylonian bay, extracted and discharged on these harsh Texas fields. We're lost under the steel of noodle budget cut meals that block the adrenaline out of our veins with stringent grease, pumped in from Nazi beasts, disguised as reform with a smile. Our protest should be worldwide, linked by the common disgust that our humanity is not respected, nor our right to self-dependence. Whether it's the chains of TDC or the plains of Ramallah, we should be masked up like Hamas, hollow tips, chipping away at the concrete walls and fences made to separate the piece of ourselves, which is the best of us. We pray at night to keep the rumbling of our stomachs still, trying to keep the hunger and hate from stealing that which has been left after the pillage. Political prisoners, those of us that have become wise enough to not self-destruct and accept the distinction between who we are and who they feel they have designed us to be. I submit to the realest of all theologies that liberation by death is preferable to life of oppression. And regardless, Palestine or the backwoods of North Carolina, the game plan must be the same. No matter the religious or political affiliation, resistance must be a part of our breathing, ticking in us like nothing else matters, and it doesn't. 4, as I walk through the checkpoint, past fires at me. I grimace, flashing my papers that allow me to get to my destination. I never make eye contact, only press my papers to the face of the gates. We're all in uniform. Weapons surround us as we weave through traffic. Long lines of lost souls trekking through the fog. Broken lives, broken hearts, long life sentences. A few rebels are speckled in the mix. Chaos surrounds me. I've been able to blend in, only slightly detectable when my face goes stone at the sound of right side of the line, single file. I'm shuffled back into place that at least 90% of my surroundings don't know exist, even though the guards are the same. The walls are the same. The mentalities are the same. And the slow motion genocide is the exact same. The beast continues to chomp away at people who are less fortunate. I'm a part of the few that have merged with the feeling of rage of the oppressed. Sharif Hamed's poetry has become Bible study in my daily walk. I passed the checkpoints, gates, cages, and almost failed to realize that this is the McConnell unit and not Palestine, which is like Polinsky, which is like Telford, which is like Michaels, the first prototype of a new oppression. Control unit prisons, boxes within boxes within boxes. We have apartheid here too. We smuggle the taste of freedom under our clothes. We hustle for extra food, just trying to reclaim those feelings of humanity stripped from our fingers. My face contorts at the orders, and those that accept them with no rejection at least gives me some disdain. Our annihilation has become a sugar-coated bomb. In our gluttony of ignorance, we greedily gobble down the high cholesterol laws and policies that are slowly creeping through to strangle our hearts. There has been no true ceasefire. Just as Israel has increased the number of settlers in the West Bank from 190,000 to more than 500,000, Texas has built over 120 prisons over the span of 20 years. 137 prisons total. Texas and Gaza are fraternal twins separated at birth. Both spawn concentration camp-like conditions. I've overridden my prison number with Arabic tattoos. Chest to back is now a billboard for revolutionary messages. Our massacre is unfolding in slow motion, and not even death should stop us from trying to rewind this horrific narrative. 5, mirrors have been banned from most correctional facilities. Inmates can no longer have the small handheld mirrors that commissaries once sold. They say that inmates are making weapons of mass destruction with them. Inmates have been making weapons long before these small handheld mirrors, and will be making weapons long after. You see, when you leave a neglected mind, an abandoned body to its own devices, it will start to divide and conquer the space known as boredom, apathy, rotting existence. Through mad science and pure neglect, inmates experiment with matter when nobody gave a damn about the matter at hand. Oppression, cruelty, indifference, corruption. Matter of fact. So yes, contraptions have been conceived. But the first time a pencil was used to poke holes in the flesh, why wasn't it banned? We must observe the motives behind these master architects of torture. For those in most correctional facilities who already suffer the supreme experience of sensory deprivation, they have finally received the coup de grace of the five. 1, hands have been barred from the most spiritual of the five. No touching allowed. No hug, firm handshake, or pound to give to those who have come to share this hell of a life with you. 2, sounds no longer lick the eardrums with pleasantries, but kick the eardrums with slam, bam, bang, ID number, shakedown. These words slither their way into the brain, which will be future stem cell research material to figure out how bodies began to reflect spinal meningitis symptoms. 3, taste buds bloom prickly cotton thorns from beef stew, mildew, onions, and macaroons. 4, the smell now invaded by the stew surrounded by withering bodies amidst the shit, sweat, stress odor that comes with doing this type of time, and thus the death below. 5, the one thing that remained which kept them attached to remnants of what human life was like, to be able to gaze into the pupils and search deep for the child before the crime. The ability to see the face can still smile and say, I see you later. The alarms went off that inmates were digging, pushing, prying, finding their way to release through these portals, passageways that show more than the stern, racist, cruel faces that reflect onto them. From the image standing in front of them, monstrosities, putting on tinsel shows that want them to believe that they are the walking dead, invasions of the body snatchers, Texas chainsaw massacres. So they bind us, forbid vision, hindsight, foresight, belly, back, side. As the Trinity said, because it's everything, everywhere, everyone gone. How can we perceive the possibility of humanity when we lost the closest thing to our freedom? Our faces, free of the bars, cages, mesh, chicken wire, staring back at us, tempting us to reflect what we see and see a reflection beyond the thugs they write us off to be in the Express, Chronicle, Herald. They want to, say, can you see us dwindling from existence? Inmate on inmate assaults are no less and no prettier, as items still slice, dice, and puncture. It was never about the violence anyway, rather how they were silently finding their way back. Our passageway is no more, forbidden from us, to forever dull us, damage us, and kill us softly as we die, forgetting we ever existed at all. My pain speaks to me like voices in an insane asylum, like voices in an insane asylum, like voices in an insane asylum, or a little child's imaginary friend. It reminds me that I'm real and that I'm still currently human. My pain has this interesting way of reaching deep into my spirit and uprooting the venom of strife like one does to old weeds corrupting a beautiful garden. And then again, it has a way of tormenting me with the memories of my past, projecting my life story before my eyes as if it's a Paramount feature film, and I'm the only Negro in the audience wearing 3D glasses. And then again, it has a way of thrilling me by injecting adrenaline in my veins, pumping life in and out of my heart. Oh yes, my pain does that sometimes. I feel the pain piercing like light does tonight, never becoming polluted, always infinite. I'm abducted from my body and taken away to feel the pain of ages. From Vietnam to Watts riots, from Hurricane Katrina to the war in Iraq, from Ibrahim Adebisi to Keith Lamont Scott. So as I stand here spitting poetic words about love, pain, and forgiveness, how can I clearly say that I'm a human being experiencing spirituality, or that I'm a spirit experiencing these awful flesh tombs we consider bodies? But what is revolutionary love, pain, and forgiveness? For some, it is a numbness, a nothingness, a standstillness. For others, it's like being a bubble trapped inside of an ice cube. You're simply waiting for time to melt it away. Or better yet, it's like being trapped in quicksand. Once you're in it, you're in it. So why struggle or why fight? Because the more you struggle, the more you fight, the deeper some hypocritical critic pushes you into the abyss. This love, this pain, this forgiveness is like that of an hourglass. And all I know for sure is that some corrupt individual keeps flipping that hourglass. Because this love keeps pouring. This pain keeps pouring. This forgiveness keeps pouring. So all I can clearly say to myself, and all I can clearly say to others, peace be with you. Thank you.